everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. It is time for another chicken and garden update. If you have watched the Sunday Musing, you will know that we had some snow this week, and that's meant that the chickens have been kept locked up because it's been really wet and horrible. I need to put some fresh bedding in there, so please excuse the mess. But just keeping this door shut helps them stay warm at night. And it also prevents some of the moisture coming in. We've had alternating heavy rain and moderate snowfall that has then thawed and run off. So everything is just super wet and icky right now. And it's meant that we haven't wanted to get anything done here at the house. But the eggs are still coming. So that's a good thing, right? We have had some slight successes with our vehicle to home system, in so much as it has worked occasionally. We've been testing it out and it's still working. But when we tried to operate our stove off it just before Thanksgiving, our hope was to get this working and installed by Thanksgiving. It started throwing some hissy fits. So our electricians are going to go back and talk to Sunrun and try and figure out what's going on, because it has been driving me a little bit up the wall and I've not been enjoying it. But these things happen from time to time. Sorry if it's so dark. We are going through the garden and it's very dark and horrible right now, but you'd be surprised at how much is growing right now. So these are my fava beans, my broad beans. They're still doing really well and they're coming up rather nicely. They didn't like the snow. And I think they may have been trampled since yesterday. We may have had a deer or something come through. The sprouts have given up. The leeks are still doing great. Some of the herbs are doing great. Interestingly, and I'm blown away by this, we have some cauliflowers that still want to grow. You can see right there. They're thinking about growing, and that's just blowing me away. The winter veg, still doing great. The strawberries and the garlic, still doing fine under their lovely little bit of straw. You see some strawberries poking up there. I am so glad that I decided to put this down, because otherwise I think I might have lost them. And there's something really cool happening that I just want to tell you about. And look, I don't know if you can see over there, but there is mist forming in the valley at the bottom of our garden. So that means we are now sort of coming above the cloud level for that mist and fog there, and I'm tripping on garden stuff and bits of snow. I'm sure some of you would have watched the Sunday Musing before watching this, but we had some snow this morning. This is the remnants of the snow that was kind of prevented from melting by all of the things, by the fact that it is behind the hedge. It's turned to ice now, so you can see. It's just very cold, very, very cold. The other day, I was telling you that we were on the hunt for an electric tractor, or rather a tractor that I could convert to electric. And a few days later, literally a few days after recording it, I jumped onto the local Craigslist and I saw something for sale. And what do you know? $100 later, and we ended up finding an electric tractor. Now, it's not the best. It's powered by a very, very small set of batteries, and it's very loud. However, it's quite good. It's a Massey Ferguson. And it's very old. It's like older than me. It originally had I think a 35 horsepower. No, not 35. I think it was 8. It was 8 horsepower gasoline engine. And now it has an old forklift motor or something else running it. It's 36 volts. And it's not very happy about running in this poor weather, but it does have a gearbox. So see if I can change gears one-handedly. Here we go. One-handed gear change. Doesn't have a clutch, so you sort of have to encourage it to go into gear. And I think I just stalled it. Hang on. I put it into reverse. Yep, I managed to... there you go, I put it into reverse. So let me try and put it into first gear. There we go. I put it into first gear. And then it goes a little bit slower. Now, this is not going to do anything major for the channel. It's not going to do anything major for the garden. But it does half move when it wants to. See? The problem, the big problem, the problem that we are all struggling with is the fact that it doesn't have a throttle. It doesn't have brakes. Why did I buy it? Well, because it kind of was $100 and I figured $100 is okay. If I screw up and I decide that I don't want to work on this, $100 is just fun for a fun project. It has a potentiometer throttle, which is down by the driver's seat. And so you have to kind of steer with your feet while using your hand to control the speed. And that has caused some issues here, just a little bit. However, it's got a nice seat on it. Let me show it to you. I'll tell you what, I'll move it down here so you can see it a little bit better. That's my neighbour coming home. Got to put it into gear. Oh, there you go. That's third gear. So it was basically a guy out in Eugene who built it. And I think he'd just built it for fun and maybe for letting his grandkids ride around their little farm on. And it's got a tow hook, which is fine. And I need to put some better tyres on it, which is fine. And other than that, it's not a bad little thing. It is in a bit of a state. However, I decided that I'd rather work on something this small than spend a lot of money buying something with an engine and then have to spend a lot of money taking things out. Now, anybody who knows anything about EVs will tell you these battery packs are not good enough. In fact, this one is melting slightly. I just noticed that. This one looks like it has melted in the past, so I need to do some work to replace that. It's easier for me to replace the batteries and install a proper controller and install a proper motor than it is for me to gut the motor out and put the engine out, and work on a whole new engine thing. It's very poorly built, but it was very cheap. I'll swing this up so you can see better here. So my plan is to put like a lithium pack in here and basically build the back of this out a bit to replace this motor with something a little bit more powerful, and then to put a proper controller down on the throttle so I can move it. That is all going to cost me about as much as this cost me. If I put some proper tyres on, it handles the slopes around here quite happily. Having the gearbox is useful because it gives me a little bit of extra torque. It's a bit of a bonkers project. And I know that a lot of people are going to be looking at this and going, oh, why on earth did you do that? Well, just because fun. It's literally that. I have no other excuse but to say it's just me being silly. It's literally as much as you're going to get out of me for this one. Anyway, there you have it. That is the bonkers thing that we have. We do not have a tractor. It is a bit bonkers. It is a bit terrible. And it was once a ride-on lawnmower, and now it's just for moving things around. And look, if it can help me get fencing posts down the bottom of the garden, great. If it can't, I haven't lost anything. I've lost $100 and a day to go and get it. And it's still a bit fun. I can pass it on to someone else and they can use it for their kids to ride around. Anyway, that is it. Thanks for joining me. I will be seeing you next week on this channel. In the meantime, there's going to be plenty of cool stuff on the main channel for you to enjoy. And if you did enjoy this, please make sure that you leave a comment below. You can also tip us with a super thanks, and the comments are of course open here and on Discord for your thoughts. If you want more, subscribe, hit the bell and follow the links below to regularly support us with a YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription. You'll also find links to our Ko-Fi, Bitcoin and Swag store, and check out our Mastodon, which we now have. It's very cool. Mastodon, we are a giant prehistoric mammoth. That's all I can say. Scrolling on my right is the amazing list of charged up supporters, and shout outs go out to our self-driving tier: Mike Weeder, Patrick Boyarski, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Michael Goad, Bennett Elder, Andrew Martin, Pedro Mio Pinheiro, Brophy Wolf, Chris and Michael Johnson, Tazza in the Gong, Dan Blair, Peter Dillinger, Gordon C, Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Denny Hyde, Chris Centre and Jim Burness. Finally, out of this world thanks go to our Starman supporters: Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, JP Fagerback, Joe Bresney, John Lyons, Rory Litton, Kevin Boroughbridge, Dave Kitchen, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Dropneck, Paul Conway, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin and Ian. We will be back soon on this channel and on the main channel with more awesome videos, but until then, thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and keep evolving.